Be sure to get your free copy of Bob Hurley's Guide to a Great Basketball Practice. Just click the link down in the description or the comments for your free ebook.
Good afternoon, coaches. Today my topic is practice plan and drills. This is my favorite topic. As a coach, I prefer to practice than to be involved in games. I love to bounce around and get drills from different coaches. So the drills and a philosophy that I'm going to talk to you all about today is something that I kind of formulated over the years from as many people as I've been able to see at practice and hear speak at clinics. I have some thoughts about practice itself that I think are very important. First thing is that you have to put it down on paper. You can't wing it. You also have to plan your practices in advance. As I approach my high school season, I know that I'll have 16 practices in my preseason and I'll have 6 scrimmages before my first game. So as I'm preparing, I know that I have to have certain things in certain days so that I know where I need to be. With that in mind, I'll keep practices for 3 or 4 years so I can compare what I'm doing at a certain day, but also so I can compare the quality of the practice. I try to grade them as best I can. I think it's also very important to stay with the schedule. When you write your practice schedule down, don't deviate from it. Don't be stubborn about completing something and staying with something much longer, because now you're losing other things of practice. If it didn't work well, come back to it the next day of practice and use another fundamental drill. It's not always the kid's fault that the drill doesn't go well at practice. So if you have variety in a particular drill, that's going to help you. I think also it's very important to alternate the hard and easy segments at practice. If you do one thing and it's going to be difficult, you want to do it for about 5 minutes. Longer than 5 minutes, it's going to lose its effect. At the same time, don't follow it with another difficult thing. Don't have a drill that's defensive stance and follow it with 5 minutes of blockout. Try to separate those two and maybe put a shooting drill in between so that the kids are doing something shooting after defensive stance. Number 4, practice the way you play. If you have a certain style of play, we're a pressure defense team. I like to advance the ball up the court quickly. So we do more full court things in our practice. We have less time between things. We try to do an awful lot of things in transition because it's the way we play. I think you want to build your practice so that 2/3 of the practice is skill work and 1/3 of the practice is team play. I always feel that if you keep working on your skills, your team play is going to get better because of the skill level of your team. And also practice to improve your team first. Worry about the opponent second. Don't start having a practice a couple days before a game where you're focusing on the opponent. The kids are going to know that you're getting out of the normal routine, and they're going to sense that this game is a little different than others. And what you want them to be able to do is treat every game exactly the same. Do breakdown work daily. If you're with another coach at practice, have one coach work with the big men while the other coach works with the guards. If you're alone at practice, stay in the middle of the court, have the two groups working and kind of go back and forth during the drills. Allow your senior players to participate a little bit in leadership roles. If you've got 2 assistant coaches in practice, let them each run a segment and walk back and forth instructing so that they're getting a chance to work at practice and you're kind of overseeing what's going on. you got to make sure you get 20 minutes of shooting in a day. All things being equal, if you don't have at least 20 minutes of shooting in, all of the other things are going to lend you, your break, your set offense, everything you're doing is going to get you the positions to score, but you haven't rehearsed that. So it's very important you do that. Shorten your practices as the season goes on, but keep the intensity up. Several years ago, we played for the New Jersey State Championship. Our last practice of the season was 45 minutes on a Saturday. My seniors basically ran the practice. I had a veteran group. We went from one thing to the other. We were sharp. We felt no need to keep things going. We went out the door. We knew by the way we left practice we were going to have a good day the next day. We went out the next day and won a state championship and did it in very impressive fashion because the execution and everything was there. We saw it the day before. Include special situations regularly at practice. I was at a Duke University practice in 1991, the first championship that Duke won, and with a couple of minutes left in first practice of the season, Mike Krzyzewski put 2 minutes up on the clock. He put a score, and he made the players play at 2 minutes of special situation. We try to do it every day. There's a special situation practice we like to run about every 2 weeks. Takes about an hour and 15 minutes. Puts the kids through about 20 special situations. Perhaps save their legs a little bit that day, but makes them think. I think that's very important. Day before and day after game, shorten that practice. If your team has a bad day and you come to practice the next day, don't punish them. Teach that day. They didn't intentionally go out to play poorly, so the next day you need to come in and do a better job of teaching. If it's the day before a game, as I said earlier, concentrate on getting your things done, but don't leave their legs on the practice floor the day before an important game. Begin and end your practice with meeting. You want to make sure that the practice starts on a positive note. Get them all together at the end of practice. Spend about 30 seconds talking to them about what the next day is going to be, something coming up, and end it on that note.